All right, Shaykh, I had a few questions. The first one you mentioned about these scholars from different schools that had somewhat of a preference for a certain qira'at. Do contemporary scholars follow their suit, like their approach to it? Or since now we have a much more broader, like all 14 qira'at, like the 4 shazza and the 10, do they take all of them into account and then...
Yeah, they take all of them into account except the Shafi'is, they only take 10 into account. But the preference that was for the earlier scholars, because that was available to them, that's what they had access to, that's what they read with, that's why they base it on, because they didn't know any other. So any scholar who have more, their rulings become according to the more. So I'm sure that nobody can deny that if Abu Hanifa or Malik or Shafi'i have access to other qira'at and it's known famous for them, they wouldn't reject it. But this is what was available for them at that time, by force of culture or of what is available. Yeah. Now I can just travel to Morocco or to Egypt or to Pakistan or to anywhere and get knowledge that the access here is more. So I cannot limit myself. I hope you understand the point, that they were limited to that qira'ah, not because, okay, this is mine and I don't want to hear anything else. No, that's what is known to them at that time. But after that, all the qira'at available for us, so we cannot deny. Unless those who say that we just take the mutawatir. That's a different game now. So it is not about what is available for us. No, they have another condition. Whatever available, it has to be like this to be accepted.
So you say Shafi'i are the only one that accepts?
Yeah, they accept the 10. But other than the Shafi'i, they have bigger horizons. Yeah.
You also mentioned the different qira'at of the قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ.
لا قل أعوذ بالفلق بس I mentioned.
قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ
الفلق only,
قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Can one who is affected by magic, is it recommended that he or she read the قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ with different qira'at to make the effect?
Actually, this is a very great question. And actually, that's what I prefer. And many of the shuyukh, like if they know qira'at, they recite with different qira'at on ruqya of someone. Yeah. من شر النفاثات ومن شر النفاثات ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر النافثات في العقد. You can do that, yes.
So it has a more profound effect, inshallah. Okay. Actually, non-Muslims can write down the shahada, I am a Muslim, and it would be accepted. Would it also work for the opposite, where a Muslim writes that and he would be considered a kafir? Or that does not apply?
That does.
Oh.
Yeah, because as I said, in the usul, many of the usuli scholars, they said that al-khattu kal-lafzi. Writing is like that. That's why they said talaq can be done by writing. Freeing a slave can be done by writing. Going out of Islam can be done by writing as well. Like accepting Islam can be done by writing. Yeah.
And also,
otherwise, the wasiyah would not work if it's not by writing.
True.
So all the ahkam is by writing. Yeah.
You said about the salam from somebody, we treat them like a Muslim. Unless we find any other reason. So
it depends on the circumstance. It depends on the thing, because now some non-Muslims, just as out of culture, they will tell you Assalamu alaikum. Exactly. It does not make them a Muslim just by saying that. We're talking about a certain situation, certain context, that fear of identifying oneself. Otherwise, there's some harm will come. So if they say salam at that time, then you should stop.